Tonight on Eagle Angle, we get a preview of this year's school play, The Magic Flute,
learn about a club's efforts to increase voter registration on campus,
and learn the latest on the Supreme Court's decision over DACA. Plus, Garrett White is in the studio with your 5-day weather forecast.
and Jenny Ritney has all your favorite news on your favorite OC sports teams.
Hello and welcome to Eagle Angle. I'm Reagan Meyer.
And I'm Elijah Johnson. Eagle Angle is a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University.
Our top story, Oklahoma Christian's theater group is gearing up for this year's production of The Magic Flute. One of our own got an inside look at one of their dress rehearsals.
Christian's theater production of The Magic Flute is finally here, with performances all throughout this weekend. The play is an adaptation of the well-known opera written by Mozart. Director Anna Wilcox says this is a harder play to perform than usual, but the cast rose to the challenge.
It is very unique because it is intended to be this very grand opera, and so with kind of the production elements that we can work with, it's just really trying to make it feel just as grand within the story. And so I think the actors have worked really hard to really create these fully fleshed out characters and present this unique tale that the kids will hopefully really enjoy.
The Thursday night performance is open to students, staff, and their families, and the Student Government Association is offering a $150 prize to the Social Service Club with the most attendance. Friday morning, the cast will perform for the 4th and 5th graders from Orvis Reisner, who are being bused to the production by proceeds raised by this year's Homecoming Philanthropy Project. The performances on Friday night and the matinee and evening performances on Saturday are open for the general public. Come out and enjoy the show. Reporting for Eagle Angle, I'm Becca Kashork.
With the presidential campaign in full swing, one organization on campus in particular is seeking to increase the number of registered voters on campus. Becca Kashort tells us how the Black Student Union is going about this.
Ask any Oklahoma Christian student and you'll most likely hear the same thing.
I just now registered to vote.
Thanks to efforts by the Black Student Union to increase the number of registered voters on campus.
Considering the presidential election, which is coming up next year, we just wanted to make sure that everyone had at least an opportunity to register to vote at a big venue like a basketball game.
With pizza, games, and music, the BSU drew a crowd outside a basketball game and registered students to vote in the upcoming presidential election.
It was actually very convenient for us because it's here and just because the elections are coming up.
Yeah, the school promoted it really well, so it was just really easy access, and it's something I've wanted to do, so it was really convenient.
The Black Student Union says they encourage people to vote, no matter their political party.
We're not necessarily affiliated with a certain political party, and we just want to make sure that we engage students to be active citizens, and that's just one of our mission points as the Black Student Union.
Voter turnout in college-age demographics is at an all-time high. Tufts University reports that the number of youth registered to vote rose 10% from the 2014 midterm election to the 2018 midterm, and it's projected the number will only grow coming into this presidential election.
Our generation is going to reap what we sow, so whatever we choose right now is we're going to experience the effects of it.
While it's easy to get sucked into a bubble in college, the BSU encourages students to engage in the outside world.
Especially as college students, we have an opportunity to engage in our larger community and in the national community as well.
Even if it means getting off your phone and into the voting booth.
We can tweet or talk about it all day, but if we don't do anything, then we're not going to make a change.
I think it's important because we were given that right and a lot of people worked for that right, and if we don't take advantage of it, we're kind of just sitting back and kind of letting everything play out without having an active voice in something that's actually really important.
So before election season comes around, take the advice of these Eagles.
Go vote.
Go Eagles.
Reporting for Eagle Angle, I'm Becca Kashorek.
SGA's annual date week is almost halfway done, but there's still plenty of events you can take advantage of. Tonight there are free Chick-fil-A milkshakes in the Student Center from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tomorrow you can get free donuts and coffee in the conservatory at 10 a.m. before you go to chapel. The yearly crowd favorite of ice skating at the Edmond Ice Rink is on Friday from 10 p.m. to midnight. And finally, the Luther Pecan Festival in downtown Luther is on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. While you can always bring a date, feel free to grab a group of friends and have some fun this week.
The OC's campus store is hosting its Hoodies for the Homeless promotion again this year. Bring in an old hoodie or a fleece item into the campus store to donate, and you will receive a 25% discount towards the purchase of a new regular priced hoodie starting today until November 15th. All collected hoodies will be donated to Skyline Urban Ministries. If you have any questions, you can ask any of the campus store associates.
The last day to drop a fall 2019 class or withdraw from the university is this Friday the 15th. If you need to drop a class, come by the registrar's office and fill out a change of enrollment form. You will need signatures from your advisor, the instructor of the class, the athletic compliance officer if you're a student athlete, and financial services if dropping the class will change your enrollment to below 12 credit hours. The completed form must be turned into the registrar's office by 5 p.m. on Friday in order to drop any classes.
If you have any stories you would like us to report on, email our news producer at becca.kashort@eagles.oc.edu. Now on to our national news. Thousands of young undocumented immigrants could be impacted by a decision before the Supreme Court. Tuesday, the nation's highest court will hear arguments on the Obama-era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, or DACA. CNN's Jessica Schneider has details.
Eliana Fernandez left her Long Island home more than 2 weeks ago to walk 230 miles to the steps of the Supreme Court. She's one of the plaintiffs suing the Trump administration for its decision to end the program that currently protects her from deportation, DACA.
Are you afraid that at any moment you could be deported if DACA doesn't continue?
As a parent, one of the biggest fears that I have is losing protections against deportation that could lead to me being separated from my children. So that's something that is in my head every day.
Fernandez came to the U.S. illegally from Ecuador when she was 14 and has lived undocumented in New York for 17 years. She struggled as a mom to her now 7 and 12-year-old kids, but when President Obama announced the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, or DACA, in 2012, Fernandez felt like she finally had a place in the country she called home.
When DACA came about, I was able to get better jobs. I returned to school. I spent hours and days away from my children, but always thinking in my head, at the end, everything will be worth it. And it was, till the Trump administration took office.
The DACA policy produced by the last administration could not be sustained.
The Trump administration announced it would end DACA in September 2017, part of the president's plan to crack down on illegal immigration.
In some of the cases, they're having DACA and they're gang members and they're drug dealers, too.
The Trump administration says President Obama never had the authority to enact DACA in the first place, and so President Trump could easily end it. But groups like the National Immigration Law Center immediately sued, and several federal courts agreed, ruling the administration did not adequately explain why it was ending DACA, which made the wind down not legal.
The Roberts Court has a very easy way forward, which is uphold the lower court's decisions and basically say, no, the administration did not follow the proper procedures in ending the DACA program.
I'm giving back to this country. I'm paying taxes. We contribute to this amazing country in many different ways. We are Americans in every way but papers. And I want people to understand and see that.
Antonio Alarcon is also a plaintiff in this case. He came to the U.S. illegally from Mexico when he was 10. Now 25, he wants the 9 justices to think about the lives their decision could impact.
What would you tell the justices about why it's so important that you and the 700,000 others like you are able to stay here?
I will tell them to see our humanity. At the end of the day, we are Americans. We belong here, and we are humans just as them.
There's a project underway to prevent wildfires in Nevada, but what makes it different is that most of the work is done by inmates. And as Elizabeth Rodel reports from Carson City, the effort is working both against fires and for the inmates.
Nevada is no stranger to wildfires. As they ravage our backyard, it threatens lives, homes, and plants like sagebrush.
Wildfires are happening more often. Wildfires are more intense. And if they don't get sagebrush out and planted in these areas, those areas can be overrun with cheatgrass and other more flammable things.
So behind these wired fences of the Warm Springs Correctional Center in Carson City, sagebrush grows. For 7 days a week and most of the year, about a dozen prisoners raise thousands of plants.
6.
That's Patrick McKinnon, who's been part of the program for a year.
I've never cultured plants like these before, so as a team, we've all gone through a huge learning curve.
From seed to planting stage, McKinnon and others tend to them under Shannon Swim with the Institute for Applied Ecology.
Sagebrush is a keystone species. It essentially holds this whole ecosystem together, and without the sagebrush, the whole system kind of falls apart.
And after months of tending,
they water them, they thin them down to 1 plant per container, they sing to them.
The BLM plants them in burn-scarred areas.
We've had anywhere from 40% to 90% survival rates, which in the Great Basin and specifically in Nevada is really high.
But it's not just the growth of sagebrush that gets Swim excited, but the growth of the inmates too.
It makes a difference in these guys' lives. It changes their lives and really helps them contribute to something positive.
You can do it, McKinnon. And McKinnon agrees.
Just putting 20 people from all different parts and different backgrounds together and able to make a cohesive team to work on this.
Up next, Garrett White is in the studio with your 5-day forecast.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Dora knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
Boots! She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
All right, Elijah and Reagan, I have a very divisive question for you. Now, answer carefully. Warmer weather or cooler weather?
Warmer.
Warmer.
Well, great news, because that's what this next week has in store for us. Let's see what's happening. Currently, 52 degrees sunny, but it feels just a little cooler at 49 degrees. Now, starting with the southeastern portions of Oklahoma, 46 in Ada and 45 in Lawton. In Ardmore and Durant, it's 47 degrees, moving up to Sallisaw and Tulsa, 49. In Miami, 58 degrees. As we move to the central and northwestern portions of Oklahoma, OKC and Ponca City, both 52 degrees, 54 in Elk City, and 57 in Altus. In Guyman, it's 65 degrees. For tonight, expect 28-degree weather with a strong wind, 14 miles an hour, coming in from the southwest. There will also be a higher humidity at 66%. This weekend, expect clouds in the sky with 60-degree weather, typically lower 60s. Also, no chance of rain. Over the next 5 days, sun in your Thursday and Friday. Thursday, a high of 49 degrees, low of 27. Friday, the high is 58, low of 36. Both Saturday and Sunday will be partially cloudy. Saturday with a high of 60, low of 39. Sunday, high of 58, also a low of 39 degrees. Monday will bring the sun once again, high of 67 degrees, low of 42. Stay with us to check in with Nick Rogers in the Entertainment Corner.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens. Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Thank you for joining me in the Entertainment Corner. I'm your host, Nick Rogers. The long-awaited Disney Plus is here, but not without a few difficulties at the start. The platform has placed trigger warnings on several classic family movies like Pinocchio, Lady and the Tramp, and more. The trigger warnings were set in place due to, quote, outdated cultural depictions, end quote, such as racist imagery and stereotypes. Naturally, the move drew heavy conversation on social media, with many people voicing their own outrage that the entertainment giant would have to issue sensitivity disclaimers along with their classic productions, while others lauded Disney for the political correct move. Robert De Niro is set to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award for his 56-year career in acting. The Screen Actor Guild will present the actor with its top honor next year at its annual award show in Los Angeles. De Niro will be the 56th recipient to receive this accomplishment. The SAG president said De Niro is one of the greatest talents of our generation. The 76-year-old has won Academy Awards for The Godfather Part 2 and Raging Bull. De Niro says it's an honor to receive an award from the union he's been a part of for over 50 years. Will Ferrell is joining the Five Timers Club. This Saturday Night Live will return to host the show on November 23rd. King Princes will schedule to be the music guest that night. Ferrell was an SNL cast member from 1995 through 2002. He went on to host this show in 2005, 2009, 2012, and 2018. Other members of the Five Timers Club include Dwayne Johnson, Melissa McCarthy, and Scarlett Johansson. Alec Baldwin holds the record for hosting SNL, the most he's done in a whopping 17 times. That's this week's entertainment. Now we go back to the birthday girl at the desk for sports. Happy birthday, Jenny.
Thank you, Nick. The Lady Eagles of Oklahoma Christian played twice this past week, and their first game was on Wednesday at home when they took on the Lady Patriots of Texas Tyler. Texas Tyler would strike first when they scored twice, 2 goals in the first, and then go on to add 1 more goal in the second half as Texas Tyler would go on to win 3-0. Then the Eagles would close out their season here at home on Saturday when they would take Texas A&M Commerce. Both teams were scoreless through the first half, but in the 56th minute, the Lady Eagles would take the lead when Jordan Friend-Bloom would score her second goal of the season. OC would go on to win and increase their overall record to 3-15. And as for the men's soccer team, they would also play 2 games this past week and close out their season. Their first game was on Wednesday when they took on Dallas Baptist University. Oklahoma Christian would strike first in the 31st minute and Tettleton would get his first goal of the season. Dallas Baptist would come back and tie the game up in the 59th minute. Both teams would remain tied and head into overtime. DBU would then go on to score in the 93rd minute and go on to win 2-1. The Eagles would then go on to face St. Edwards on Saturday to close out their season. The Eagles would strike first in the 12th minute, then Carlos Trapero would score his 3rd goal of the season. St. Edwards would then bounce back, scoring 2 goals to take a 2-1 lead. But Oklahoma Christian would tie it up in the 68th minute with a goal from Ian Arns. But St. Edwards would quickly regain the lead in the 69th minute and go on to win the game 3-2 over Oklahoma Christian. OC finished their season 5-11. And the men's basketball team opened up their season yesterday at home when they took on the University of Central Oklahoma. The Broncos took an early lead over Oklahoma Christian in the first half, and Oklahoma Christian trailed by just 2 to start off the second half, but that was as close of a score as the Eagles could get it to. Oklahoma Christian would fall to the Broncos 63-44. OC's best scorer was Deidre Palmer Jr., who had 18 points and 5 rebounds. Oklahoma Christian falls to 0-1 on the regular season, and the men's basketball team will be on the road this Saturday when they will take on Northeastern State. The opening tip-off is set for 8 p.m. And as a reminder, the Lady Eagles basketball team will also play on the road this Saturday as they will take on Southeastern Oklahoma State. The opening tip-off is set for 7 p.m. in Durant, Oklahoma. And that's the latest with sports. We'll be right back after take a look at this.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I want to eat. apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them?
Julia, are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
A Florida 2-year-old is on the road to recovery after a much-needed kidney transplant surgery. His mother turned to social media for a donor in August. As Tanya Rogers reports, her prayers were answered by a compassionate 21-year-old. Take a look at this.
You want more? You want more?
There's a lot of laughing and smiling in the Chesson home. 2-year-old Colton had a kidney transplant.
It's changed our whole life as a family, and we get to see our 2-year-old in a way we had never seen him before.
It's all thanks to a major donation by Drew Schneider. The 21-year-old saw Lisa's social media post about her son needing a kidney transplant. Drew realized her mother had met Lisa years ago. Her mother supported her decision.
When I got tested, I was talking to my mom in the car a couple days later, and I was like, I feel like I'm a match.
The September 30th kidney surgery would bring the families back together.
Do you see 3?
Colton and Drew are on the road to recovery. Drew, who owns a cheerleading company, is almost back to her usual active lifestyle. And so far, Colton is adjusting well to his new kidney.
A 2-year-old boy is being able to play games and bathe and, you know, be lively with his family.
I don't think she will ever know how thankful we are. My husband and I talk about it every night. We pray and thank God every night.
Drew is hopeful Colton might get something else from her.
My attitude? Unfortunately for Lisa. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, maybe he'll get my attitude. I kind of have like I'm a little spunky.
Tanya Rogers, WPTV News Channel 5.
As a small student-produced newscast, it means the world to us that y'all are taking the time to tune in and watch Eagle Angle. We'd like to send out a huge thank you on behalf of all the Eagle Angle crew.
You can continue to keep up with everything Eagle Media on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, thank you for watching Eagle Angle, where is your campus,
your news.